Hello guys. Okay, today we're gonna do another video. As I said, as I promised the last time, we're gonna do a video on SSH key pairs, okay, to logging into Cisco routers. And so today we're gonna log into router R3, which is in my EVNG lab. Okay, and if you're interested to know exactly how these labs are built on EVNG, that's another video for another time. We're going to log into this router with SSH. We're using SSH key pairs. So I'm just going to click there, just see what's configured in that router R3. So if I go in there, do show IP interface brief. The only thing that should be there should be the IP address, because it's IP address that's been obtained by DHCP. So that one is by default. That's the only thing that we have on this router. So if I do show run, there's just nothing configured on this router. Okay, neither on the VTY interfaces or anywhere. So only the IP, but we're going to test if this IP, if we can SSH using the IP. Okay, if you can SSH using the IP, that's good. But I know the configuration it's not there yet. As you can see, show IP interface brief. So I'm going to go to my Linux PC, try to ping this IP. I should be able to ping it, but nothing more than that. Okay. Anyways, ping 192.168. What am I doing? Ping 192.168.186.161. Okay, that's the IP we have there. Ping is working, but we can't do anything else other than ping. Okay, if I try to do SSH, it wouldn't work, right? So if I do one, that's my username that I use all the time. Okay, so if I do SSH, the SSH fails. That's what we expect because there's something configured here. So we're going to quickly configure that. I'm going to configure SSH on this router offline because we've done it several times. And then I come back when the router is ready for SSH. Okay, and then we start the key pair configuration. All right, so the SSH configuration on router 3 is completed. Okay, and we've seen this several times, so I didn't want to put it on the screen. Not to waste your time. So if SSH is done on this router 3, but we haven't configured the key pairs yet. So what that means is that if I go into any of this, let's say I go into my Ubuntu terminal, I try to SSH into it. Okay, SSH should work. Okay. No, this is a ping. I'm doing a ping. Let's do SSH. Okay, that's not the right one. All right, so as you can see on the screen, I'm trying to do SSH to router 3. Okay, this is the IP address of router 3, the same username. Okay, this router 3 here with the IP address is show IP interface brief. All right, so this is a new router 3, and that's the IP address. You see SSH, regular SSH is working. It's asking me for since it's the first time we're logging to R3 through SSH, it's going to ask me those questions like before. Say yes, and then I'm going to be able to put the password. Okay, so I'm logging to R3 through regular SSH. Now we're going to start the real configuration of the key pair for SSH. So what's the difference between that one and the SSH we're doing right now is with the key pairs, we have both the private key and the public key. Okay, so on the client side, this is our Ubuntu server. Okay, it's going to be a client trying to log into the router, which is a server. Okay, so the client side, we're going to configure, generate an SSH key pair, which means it's going to be a private key and a public key. Okay, private key is going to always remain on the client side. Okay, it's going to remain always on. It never has to be shared, but the public key can be shared. Okay, so we're going to generate the public key on the client side and then share that public key with the server side. Okay, now the server is going to use the public key to generate its own private key, which should be able to match the one that we have already on the client side. So that's how it works. So so as I said, the first thing we're going to do that with the Windows PC, and then we do the same thing on the on the Linux. Okay, this is a Linux machine here. So the first thing we want to do is to try to log into this SSH, this router from Windows. Okay. Just to test SSH, if I do IP 192.186.161, if I just do open, right? The first time we're logging in, which just simply means SSH, regular SSH is working. I'm going to accept everything. It's going to ask us for a password. Oh, sorry, for the username and then the password. Okay, so we're logging through the regular SSH. Now we're going to generate the key pair, okay, with the Windows. So I'm going to exit out of here. So to generate both the private and key pair, private and public key pair from the Windows machine, we're going to have to use the PuTTY gen. If I say PuTTY, PuTTY application, let's call PuTTY gen. Okay, this one right here. So we're going to click there, open. All right. No, not this one. This is regular PuTTY. I need the PuTTY. Okay, this one. Okay, this one. Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, open this one. This is the one I should open. Okay, so I click this one. All right. Now we're gonna generate public and private key with this PuTTY generator. Okay, PuTTY. All right. So I'm gonna do right away. If I click here, generate, right there, and then I start moving the mouse around. So by moving around my mouse around, I'm just trying to help the generator, generate a better hash for the key. So now the key has been generated, and whatever you're seeing right now on the screen, okay, the one I highlight is the public key. That one can be shared. It can be put on the billboard or anywhere. Anybody can see it. But there's also another key that's called a private key right here. This private key should never be shared with anyone. Okay. Should never be shared with anyone. So we have the public key and the private key. So we're going to save both of these keys and then share the public key with the server end, which is the router. Okay. So I'm going to save this public key. Okay. So you see here, I already have some default keys. I'm just going to do something. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to replace this key. I'm going to say pub key. All right, I just want to replace this one. Okay, pub key is going to ask me, you want to replace it? Do you want to overwrite? Yes. Okay, I'm replacing what is there. That's okay, because this is for the YouTube. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to replace the private key that's in there. So I'm going to click here. Are you sure you want to save this without the passphrase? Passphrase is like a second password that permits to kind of make this private key even more, a lot stronger. Okay, so I'm going to say I don't want to add a passphrase. It's just for demo. Say yes. So I'm going to replace this private key with the same name. I'm going to call it priv key, so that it matches the same name. All right, take this one. It's going to ask me if I want to overwrite. Say yes, I want to overwrite. So that's done. Whatever you see here as a comment, it's not very important, but this key, this fingerprint is very important, especially when you share the public key. sometimes you need to, if things are not working right, we need to basically, double check if the fingerprint you see here on the PuTTY is the same fingerprint that you're going to see on the router. If that's the case, it means that your public key has been shared exactly without any errors. So I'm going to keep this window open for now. Now we're gonna have to look for the file that we saved. Okay, the file that was the public key that we have to share. We have to look for that one. Go to my documents, go to SSH keys, and then public key. This is the one we have to share. So let me open it with Notepad. So we're going to share this one, and what we have to share is basically from here, where you see AAA, up to here. Okay, that's what we have to share. Any other thing we don't have to share that. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy that, go to the router 3, configure terminal, is the IP SSH public chain. Okay, enter. And then I'm going to give a username. Ideally, I'm going to use the same username like everywhere. I'm going to call it 1. Okay. Enter. And then I'm going to provide a key string. Okay. Key string. Enter. Now, where you have here data, that's where I have to add this this key. Okay. So I'm going to copy it again. Come here. Okay. I'm going to say enter. Exit. As long as we don't see any error, we're in good shape. Exit. Exit. Okay. Now, if we do show run. Okay. All right. So here we can see there's a public chain, the public key that we shared, and it has this fingerprint. This is the fingerprint I was talking about. If we technically, hopefully I did not. Okay. So I think I don't know if I mixed up the keys. I don't think I can compare the keys right now, but in any case, if I make an error, I have to redo it. But this is actually what is the fingerprint that you have to compare with what we generated. So I'm going to just save this one, because actually I had another pair key. I don't know if I basically used one in place of the other. But so yeah, so this is it. It's the public key is shared with the router. Now we're going to have to configure the PuTTY so that they can log into this router with the private key. All right. So we'll go to PuTTY. This is a different thing. This is the PuTTY to log in. This is the PuTTY to generate the public and private key. So for this one, I'm going to put the IP address of the router 3, which is 192.168.186.161. All right. And I have to go to SSH. All right. Go to SSH and open it up. Open this one up. Credentials. Here you have private key file for authentication. I'm going to say browse. And I'm going to take this one. Okay. This is the one we just added. Public key is already shared. Okay. Public key is already shared, so this is the one we just added. Okay, say open. Now it's here. If I do open, okay, so it prompts right away for username, thing 1. Okay, and we're logged in. Okay, so and you see even here it says authenticating with public key. Okay. So we are authenticating route with SSH key pair. Okay, that's why that's the message you're seeing here right there. So we're right in now with in R3 with a key pair, which is more secure than the regular SSH. Okay. So the next one we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to access this router from Linux machine. Right. All right. So my intention was to to do SSH to router 3 from both Windows and Linux using SSH key pairs, but I want to separate those two videos just to make sure that the one video is not too long. So this, I'm going to end with this video here. So this one is just going to be SSH to the router using the double key pair from the Windows machine. The next video is going to be SSH using key pair from a Linux machine. Okay, so all right, I'm going to stop here, and thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.